One of the reasons to collect import Japanese games is a lot of times they just look better than their American counterparts. For example, if you take a look at Super Mario Brothers that we got here in the States versus Super Mario Brothers in Japan, this is just a much better looking box art than what this is. But there are times when the opposite is true and the American version looks better than what we got in Japan. Let's take a quick look at a number of different games where I think the US artwork looks better than the Japanese. Up first, we have Super Donkey Kong on the Super Famicom. I mean, it's kind of neat because it has the rendered versions of Diddy and Donkey Kong. But looking at what we got here in the States, where that artwork is just phenomenal looking, and I think looks much better than what they got in Japan. Up next, a favorite amongst many collectors, Super Mario RPG. Not a game I'm a personal fan of, but taking a look at it, the Japanese version, kind of blah, especially when you take a look at what we got here in the States. I mean, not only do you get all the characters on there, at least the main characters of Mario, Peach, and Koopa, you also just get a much cooler looking label than this on a plain white background. Much like Super Mario RPG, this is just two characters on a plain white background versus what we got here in the States. Yeah, it's just a plain gray cartridge, but that is a badass looking label that we got here for the artwork. This looks much better than what they got in Japan. Finally, the Shindo Pack version of Super Mario 64. I mean, yeah, it's got Mario and it's got Bowser, and they're both kind of looking like they're badasses, but taking a look at that versus what we got here in the States, and granted, this is a reproduction box, but man, this is such better artwork than what they got in Japan. What is it with the plain white backgrounds? Now, don't get me wrong, like, I still love the look of Super Mario World on the Super Famicom compared to what we got here in the States, but not all the games are better looking in Japan, at least from a box art standpoint. Which games were released in both Japan and the US that you actually find the US box art better? Let me know down in the comments.